The first cast I ever make with this lure and I catch a nice perch. How cool is that? Fantastic! Today's plan is to try out 2 new soft lures from Westin that we bring out on the market. It's a simple model called RingCraw, a little bit like the ring tease, but the craw model. It's like a mix between a craw bait and a creature bait. And another one called the CreCraw. It's also a mix between a crawfish and a creature bait. It's a little bit more sophisticated version. So today is the first serious fishing with these 2 new lures. Look, we have of course tested them while we've been developing them, but today will be the first serious test of these lures.
To see if we catch any fish on it.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to try them out. We are quite excited, both of us, about these new lures. And when you see them, when you pull them in the water and you see them swimming, you already know they're gonna work.
Yeah, they're gonna work. They're gonna work. You see it, but of course we need to test it, and that's what we are going to do now.
We need to find a spot with perch, and we need to find the right colors for the today's with the water clarity and light conditions and everything. But we have a nice mix to choose from, and we can also use different methods. I mean, if we like to fish a lead head, we can do it with these lures.
Yes, you can.
And of course they are perfect. They are basically made for Texas and Carolina fishing, but you can use them on jig heads with offset hooks, and you can use them on a traditional jig head, but they are made specially for Texas, Carolina. They have slots in the backs and everything, so they are perfect for offset hooking.
A lot of details in these lures, and I'm quite sure they're gonna work. Quite sure.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to try them out for the first time. Really first serious fishing with them.
I'm excited.
Me too. So you pick one that you start with, and I will pick one.
Yeah, I think I just have to take this one, this Motorola Gold, because I love it so much. And it's a color, when you put it in the water, it looks like it's changing.
Yeah, it's reacting to the UV light.
And the UV light is working, and it's so nice in the water, and especially in clear water. And what I like on this lure, when you look up, you can see the transparency, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah. Then I will go for another color that I like. I will use this is like a cross between watermelon and seaweed. The classic seaweed color we have in the ring tease curl tail. I know that's a very good color and one of my favorites. So
mine too.
I will start with this one, and we see what happens. Huh?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. That comes from deep here.
Yeah, it was in the deep water. It's cool, huh? The first cast with a new lure.
First cast with a new lure.
Fantastic. I'm using the new RingCraw. First cast I ever make with this lure and I catch a perch. It's cool, huh? The first cast I ever make with this lure and I catch a nice perch. How cool is that? Fantastic. It's not a big one, but I don't care at all. It's just the excitement to catch a fish on the first cast with a new lure. It's amazing. This is the new RingCraw, and because this is a spot with a very sharp drop-off, we decided not to use Carolina. We use a traditional jig head. So we rigged the RingCraw on a traditional jig head. And yeah, casting like a normal jig. And the first cast, boom, a nice perch like this. Fantastic. Goodbye, little friend. It's look at the back of this little guy, Luke. It's solid, huh?
Yeah, solid. Very nice one.
Really solid. Even if it's a small fish, it's a solid one.
Cool, very good.
Very cool on the first cast, huh? I'm very excited now. Just a normal jig head, rigging this creature bait. So you don't have to use Texas or Carolina rig to fish a creature bait. You can fish them on a traditional jig head also.
Was it a good bite?
Yeah, it was okay bite.
Good bite,
you
yes,
see,
yes.
take it in.
Yeah.
It was all gone.
Yeah, I love it when they bite hard. Oh, I love it.
He wanted this lure. You can
Yeah.
see because he swallowed the whole lure.
It's a good sign. The first cast with a new lure.
That's a very good sign.
Very good sign.
I'm excited now.
Yes, me too. The details are fantastic. The details are very nice, and I like the softness, the hardness, the action. If you look to the details, it looks very nice, and it's a real crayfish in the water. I have a lot of confidence, and I'm gonna catch fish with it. I'm very sure of that. It's just a matter of finding a few perch in this area. When they see it, they have to take it. They cannot resist. Yeah, the first on the cray, and it feels like a perch. It feels like a perch.
Big one?
No, it's not a real big one, but for me, perch is perch.
You don't need a net?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's a perch.
Is it possible? This is for me. It's a quite small perch, but if you see how he
completely.
He took it. It's unbelievable.
Look
hey
at
guys,
that.
believe me, for this is a small perch, but I'm happy with everything. I'm happy with everything, but if you see how he has swallowed it, yeah, then I already knew it is a good lure. I already knew, but now this is a proof.
Yeah. It's the same like mine. They take it completely.
Look at this. It's a perch from maybe 30 centimeters. Okay. Thank you, my little friend.
He wanted it.
Look at that. I tell you, you will see bigger ones this day. But it was a hard bite.
He wanted it.
He really wanted it. So, Jörgen, this lure is also approved.
Very much approved.
In the first 5 minutes we are fishing, we have 2 perch and 2 brand new lures. So, we can stop.
I will start to rig my RingCraw in 2 different ways. One with a traditional jig head, just a lead head, that I can use in areas where the bottom is not very hard, and also on the very sharp drop-off that is difficult to fish with a Carolina.
Yes.
So one with a traditional jig head, and I will just do like this. I normally measure where will the hook come out. I take a mark where the hook should come out. Then I rig it like normal. Make sure it's straight. Like this. Nothing strange, like rigging a shed.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have a soft lure that will bend easily when the fish takes it, so don't worry about it's quite long with the tails and that. It will work fine even for small perch.
Oh yeah.
And then I will pick another one and rig on my Texas Carolina, my Carolina basically, to be honest. my Carolina rig. And I think I will pick a blue one. And I will use a 3/0 offset hook, rigging this.
I think it's important, Jörgen. I see many people using too small hooks. I don't like that so much.
You need a hook that has a lot of gap left when you have rigged it, so that they can push away the lure. The fish can push away the lure when they take it.
Exactly.
And I checked before, and I find a 3/0 is perfect for this lure.
I also use a 3/0, but last week I had a newcomer in the boat, and an owner from a fishing shop, and he started with a 0, with a 1, and that was way too small for this lure.
Yeah.
It was a normal ring tease, but that's too small.
Very small.
That's too small.
I would say the sizes I use the most is 2/0, 3/0, and sometimes 4/0.
Yeah. But that's
so now
not
I've rigged the hook like this. I see where it should come out in the back, and then I just bend it and push it through, and it should come up in the slot in the back of the lure, and I can hide it in the slot.
Very
so
nice.
There you have a perfect rigged RingCraw. What I do when I rig a new lure, and now it's very hard to push it away. So first I pull a little bit like this, and then when I wet the lure, the friction is gone. So it slides away so easily. So when the fish bite here, it will slide away very, very easy. It doesn't take anything, just by pulling a little bit, and then when you wet it, so the friction is gone.
Make the hole a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So now it's completely weedless. And I can fish it on my Carolina rig. I have the leader is about, I would say, 60 centimeter. And I have a quick connection here. I have made the leaders before, so I have a fast touch with a small swivel, so I can change it very quickly. And then I have a small actually I have 2 glass beads and a tungsten weight of 7 gram. So I put 2 glass beads to make even more noise in the water, and that can be dangerous also, because sometimes if it's a lot of pressure on the water, they will get scared by the lot of noise, the perch. But if it's a new water, I normally find the more sound and noise you make under the water, the quicker you get the take. But in a water with a lot of fishing pressure, I sometimes take away the glass beads completely to make it, and put a rubber bead, so I make it more silent.
Yes, I understand.
Because after a while, if there is a lot of fishing pressure on the water, they learn to associate these sounds with danger. So if you make a lot of noise, they get scared in the water like that. And in a new water that hasn't been fished, if you make a lot of noise, you get a take quicker.
More aggressive.
So we have to. You always have to think about that. What's happening? Is your friend catching more perch? He's maybe fishing with a rig with less sounds. Then you have to take away the glass beads and maybe put a rubber bead. Or might your sound make it more sound, catch more fish? So it's always worth to try how they react to this.
And maybe interesting to say why we use tungsten instead of lead.
Yeah, the tungsten has a higher density, so it's much heavier than lead in the same size, and it's very hard. So when you're fishing, you feel very well how the bottom structure is. If it's mussels or stones and things like that, you feel it so easy on your rod. And I also have a thicker. The trace is like 0.30 to the hook, and then I have a thicker trace, 0.40 for the tungsten, because you will be with the weight on the bottom all the time, and if there is rocks and sharp mussels, you will damage your trace very easily.
And also a little bit for the friction of the lead.
Exactly. This trace will get damaged when you're fishing, so you should always check it. But I prefer to use a little bit thicker there to be safe.
Me too. That's a good one.
So that's the way I fish my Carolina style.
I'm gonna fish the CreCraw on a lead head, and I have a simple lead head from 3/0, 4/0 size, 7.5 gram, because we fish here on depths from 2, 3, 4, 5 meter, and I want a slow sinking, so a slow free fall, because many times perch or zander take in the free fall when your lure is going softly down. So simple lead head, this new lure, and it's quite easy to put it on. You just have to see that the back is straight, and of course it will go easier when you do it more and more. I think me and Jörgen did it a few thousand times, but this is how it should be. The body should be straight, and also what I always say to people, your pink should go underneath the meat and the point of the hook. Then you have a lot of space to penetrate
the fish,
the mouth of the fish. So this is perfect. Yeah. On the lead heads of Westin there is a little barb on, not too big. It's not damaging the lures, so I prefer the one from Westin.
Yeah, yeah.
So very good. Very simple. Lead head, CreCraw, and we are going to fish with it. I'm gonna take a CreCraw, also Jörgen, like you, on the Carolina rig.
Yeah.
I have a 3.0 like you, and we have two sizes here. This is the 8.5 centimeter, and we have the 10 centimeter here.
Did you go for the small or the big one?
No, I go for a big one.
Yeah.
I want to catch a big perch today, and so also the hook needs to come like this. So important. We go from the back. Yes. A 3.0 is nothing too big for this lure.
No, you can even use a 4.0.
I think so on this big one.
3.0 or 4.0.
And the good thing is it's a nice slot on this CreCraw.
Comes perfect in
And
the
it's
slot.
perfect, you see.
Yeah,
This is perfect. You
Hidden
see,
in the slot, huh?
yeah, it's perfect in the slot. You need a 3.0 because when a perch or another predator fish is grabbing it, they swallow it.
Push it down on the hook, yeah?
Yes, they have to push the lure down to free the hook. And it's a good idea what Jörgen says. Pull a few times so the little hole will be a little bit bigger. And in the water, of course,
When
it
you
will
get
slide
wet,
more
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
So this is perfect. A straight back. I see some
The
anglers.
hook point is hidden.
Yes, I see some anglers and the lure is going like this.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
no good.
no.
Then you don't have a good action. The straight back is very important. And this one is ready for
There's
fishing.
a lot of hook left for the fish to push down
Yes,
the lure.
your lure needs to go down when you have a bite, and that's important. Many people forget it, but the point needs to come free.
If
when
you have
a
too
bite.
small offset hook, you will miss a lot of bites.
Yes.
I think that's the most common mistake people make. They
Yes.
use too small offset hooks.
I see it many
There
times.
must be a lot of bend left for the fish to push down the lure so it frees the point so it can get hooked.
And you will be surprised, even a perch from 35 centimeters
they take
is
it.
swallow this like you will never find it again. So so this is my Carolina rig, pretty much the same like yours.
Yeah, and we see what lure they prefer today, if they
yeah.
like the CreCraw or the RingCraw.
Yeah, I have about the same length, 50-60 centimeter
yeah.
of line. I fish a little bit thicker than you. I fish 0.34
Yeah.
because last year I lost a few fish fishing on mussel beds.
Yeah, mussels is dangerous. They are
Yes.
so sharp.
Exactly. And here I have like 30 centimeter. Just with the connector. I have one glass ball.
You have
instead
one,
of,
yeah.
I never saw somebody with two, but you are always a little bit special. So that's no problem.
Twice the special.
So I use 10 gram here because on some spots where I target on today, we will fish on 7 meters.
Okay,
and
quite deep.
Today it's quite okay with wind, but if you have a lot of wind,
Yeah,
then
you need heavier, yeah.
10 gram is a little bit more comfortable.
I have
But-
I have a spare rod with 10 grams
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
so we'll see what happens
But you
today.
can change it very quickly,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
no problem. So above this, you can use braided line.
Yeah.
I use braided line from 0.14. That's quite big, but again, sometimes you're stuck after
A lot
muscle
of
banks.
snags, huh?
So that's cool. And this all together with the W6 T&C rod, it's a perfect combination. I
Yeah,
would
it's
say.
a great match, huh?
Yeah.
When I fish a creaturebait on a traditional jig head, I can fish it two ways. I can fish it like a normal shad, just let it drop to the bottom, take a few turns with a reel, let it sink and drop to the bottom again, take a few turns with the reel, let it sink to the bottom and a few turns with the reel. Then you will get the bites when the lure is falling through the bottom. It's swimming to the bottom again. And especially with these type of lures, when you have two tails working, it will slow down the sinking rate. So it will sink very slowly, and I think that can be a great way to fish when it's cold in the water. So the lure will sink and swim very slowly to the bottom, and most of the takes will come when the lure is falling. I can also fish it more like Carolina style. Let it jump along the bottom with pauses. And of course that will imitate the crawfish a little bit more. Then you will normally get the takes when the lure is pausing on the bottom. So you have to try both methods and see what the perch prefer at the moment. But normally when the fishing is really slow, I like this slowly jumping across the bottom and with long pauses when they have to pick it up from the bottom when they take it.
Most of the soft lures I fish cast out. I wait with a line like this, and I wait, and in the meantime I look to my line, and I can see with this bright line when it falls on the bottom. You can see it, you can feel it, and a little trick I do myself if there's a little bit too much wind and you are fishing with very light lead heads is I feel on my line, and you can feel it when your lead hits the bottom, and that's a very nice feeling. I never saw somebody who is doing that, but it's because a long time ago I did a lot of fly fishing, so I show you how I do it. It's a little bit too deep where I'm now, but I cast again. So I cast to the shallows, let's say it's 2 meters there, and it's nice to use a bright line, and then I feel on my line, like you see here. I wind up 3 times, so the lure comes up very quickly, and then it has a free fall again. The free fall is very important. I see much people fishing with too heavy lead heads, because that's easy, then you feel everything very good, but I like light lead heads. I always say use a light lead head, but as heavy as necessary. Now I'm fishing with 700 gram, but for many people on depths like 2, 3, 4, 5 meters, it's just a little bit too light. So if you don't feel what you're doing, I say take a little bit more heavy, like 10 gram, but 7 to 10 gram is a very good weight for many situations.
I agree completely what Luke said before, that the weight of the jig head is crucial to your result. Of course, if you have a really big lure, it will act as Luke said, as a parachute also. It will slow down the fall rate, so you might get away with a heavier jig head on a bigger lure, but when you're fishing small lures like this, always go for the light jig heads, like 5, 7.5 gram, depending a little bit on how deep you're fishing. Today I suppose we're gonna fish between 2 and 5, 6 meters, so I think 7.5 gram is a good choice today. But sometimes when I'm fishing really shallow in the winter, I go down to 5 and even 3.5 gram jig head when I'm fishing in really shallow water.
For this style of fishing I like rods between 2 meter 10, 2 meter 20, not too long, and rods with a quite nice action. In fact, I'm abusing this rod at the moment because it's a Texas and the Carolina rod, 21 gram. I always say the maximum gram, but it's just such a fine rod because it has a top action and you feel very good when you have a bite. It's really like boom, and you can strike and you miss almost nothing. We have this rod also in 15 gram, the T&C. It's good for Texas Carolina style, but I also use it for lead head, so it's a multiple choice rod. Yeah, so like I told you, these are river lakes connected with the river, and The river is really flooding now, so that means there's a lot of rain in Germany, and all this water is coming to this area, so the water is more than 2 meters more high. And the main lake, where we just tried, is very brown. And then I mean only a visibility from this 7-8 centimeters, and that's not good for perch. That's not good. This lake is a little bit further away from the connection from the river, so it's a little bit more clear. I would say a visibility of 70-80 centimeters here, and that's okay. So we give it a try here. We are fishing with the lead head. I'm fishing with the CreCraw, and let's do this stretch and let's see what happens.
Normally, when it's too clear, it can be bad also. But you normally want some color in the water when you're fishing for perch. But it's not that you want too much color. I've had good fishing in dirty water, but I would say then I prefer to use a shad who sends out more signals in the water for the fish to register. But the color we had in the other lake and the color in the river is really bad from the flood. So it's more like really brown. It's like coffee with milk or something like that. So we could see in the other spots we tried that there was not a life sign there. So we think the fish has moved. I don't think the perch like that really dirty water. And here we have much clear water, but still a little bit of color. So I think it's looking really good here. Should be good for the perch. A little bit of color, but still quite clear.
Go really slow, and really slow. That's like you walk very slowly, because every cast we do, we have fresh water. So I don't stay too long on the spot. So we are overleaping each other a little bit. I cast there, the next cast is 5 meters further, then my next cast is 5 meters further. So in that way we cover this whole stretch, and in a few hours you can really do a few kilometers of fishing like that. So that's a very good search way, a way to find the fish. Because even we don't see something on the fish finder at the moment, where we cast, it's only 2, 3, 4 meters, and we cannot go on top of the fish because we would scare them. And because we are fishing for perch and big perch, and it's most of the time not big schools like 20-30 perch together, but more like 1, 2, 3, and you don't see them so easily on the side scan. So it's really a game of searching and fishing hard until you find one. And sometimes when you have a strike, it happens many times, we have a double strike, because 2-3 fish together, they hunt together, and that's nice, of course. So never give up when you are fishing.
Normally when the fishing is tough like this, it's all about staying confident and continue to work hard, and you will normally get your chance. It might not happen the first hour, the second hour, the third hour, but normally if you keep on working hard and stay focused, you will get your chance during the day. You know there is big perch in the area, so it's all about finding these small spots with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 big perch, and that can save the whole day. So don't expect things to happen the first 5 minutes. It can take a long time sometimes. And it's often a lot of work behind every big fish. So be patient, be focused, and work hard, and you will get your reward. Yeah.
Yes.
Very gentle take. I think it's a good fish. Might need a net here, Luke. It's not a monster. I grab it. It's a good fish, but no monster.
Yeah, but it's a very nice one.
Maybe a little bit bigger than I thought.
Yeah. But
No.
here is most of the time good fishing.
Again, it swallowed the lure completely. They definitely like our lures, Luke. They've come out. Biggest one today. Beautiful fish. Again on the RingCraw. Very gentle take.
Yeah, gentle take.
And
yeah.
still he had
Yeah.
the whole lure in his mouth.
Yeah. This is a decent one, decent perch.
Yeah. What do you think? 46?
Yeah, if you want, we can measure.
Measure him. It's very fat. It's a solid fish. Look at the back. Not even 45. Gonna release this beautiful perch. Been hard fishing today, and we've been working hard so far. I think we've only had 4 fish, but when you keep working hard and stay focused, they will come sooner or later. But we already can say it's not going to be an easy day, I think. But if you keep working, you can find a small spot that produces 1 or 2 really big fish. So it can still be a fantastic day if we find the right fish and we get them to bite. And I have a good feeling with the new lures we're using, the CreCraw and the RingCraw. When we find perch, they like them because they take them completely into the mouth. They really like them. So I'm really confident in the lures we're using. So that's not a problem. It's more about finding the small spots with fish. And with this dirty water, we are very limited because most of the spots are too dirty. So we are very limited in spots. But we have to do the best we can with the water we have. So I'm still positive, and I think we will catch a really big one before the day is gone. That's my feeling, at least. When fishing a Carolina rig, there is a lot of lures you can use, and it's more about what kind of lure the perch prefer for the day. I've had really good fishing with a 9 centimeter hyper tease with a paddle tail, and also the new slim shad tease can be very good on the Carolina rig. If they want the lure with less movement and not so much vibrations, the ring tease curl tail can be fantastic. And I'm pretty sure that these creature crawfish baits will be amazing some days. But that's the funny thing with perch fishing, I think, that it's every day is different. You can have one day that when they completely prefer the paddle tail lure before any creature bait or any worm, and then the next day you won't get a bite on a paddle tail. You only catch them on worm. So that's one of the things I like with perch fishing. It's changing so much all the time. One day is never the same like the other day. It's all about finding the right technique and the right lure and the right colors every day you go out fishing. Normally when you're fishing a Carolina rig, you will get different kind of bites. Very often I would say you get the pre-warning. They're picking at the lure before they take it properly. So it's very common that you get a small touch and then you feel resistance or you feel a good bite. So most of the time you get a warning before you get a good bite. They will pick at the lure sometimes 2-3 times before they take it properly. Sometimes they won't take it properly, but that's a big difference. That you get more often you get a warning before they take it when you're fishing the lure like this with a Carolina rig. So the hard thing with the Carolina rig is to resist striking when you get these small picks. If you do that, you almost miss the fish every time. So it's important to stay calm until you feel that the fish take it properly, or you feel a little bit. Sometimes you don't feel the take; you only feel resistance. That when they've taken the lure. So it's all about staying calm when you get these small picks at the lure. Don't strike too early.
Sure, and I see more. I see more white spots and some shadows. So I have the feeling that something is going to happen now. I put them on anchor. I even start to be nervous because I see a big school of fish, and maybe it's not perch, but if you see a big school with fish, the perch, they like to be in the neighborhood, or sometimes just between them. Yeah. I was so excited with this fish, and now I have him. Oh my God, this is so cool. This is cool. This is so cool.
Net?
It's a good fish.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a pike, but it's a good fish. If this is a perch, oh no! Oh,
Come on.
it's come off. It come off. It come off. This was a good fish. Let's see my lure. It was a good bite, a good fight, and I lost it. But there's more. There's more. I'm excited. I see a lot of fish. So.
Oh, I had a bite. I did exactly what I shouldn't do. I did exactly what I said I should not do.
Strike immediately.
I strike to that small.
Do you fish with a good line already?
Yeah, but I fished it faster this time.
Okay.
Stupid.
Small spot here.
That's the problem when you're changing between two techniques. Then you're
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Then it's very easy to fuck up.
These birds. Yeah, big one. Big one. Other birds following. More than one.
On the Carolina. First one on Carolina loop.
Yeah, cool. But I think it was hard bottom.
Yeah, I felt it was
Yeah.
a perfect place to fish the Carolina. It was not so steep drop off and a very hard bottom here. Beautiful fish.
Nice one.
On the RingCraw again. The Carolina rig. First I did exactly what I said before you shouldn't do. I struck to a small pick, so I missed one fish first, and then I calmed down a bit so I could hook the next one. Put him back, try to catch another one. We have more fish here, so I think we found a small spot with perch. Goodbye.
Yeah, bite.
Got a fish. That's pretty good. It's on the CreCraw with a Jig Head. Good one, but no monster.
Yeah, but nice one.
Good one.
Nice one, Jörgen.
Yeah.
Nice one.
A long one.
Yeah, long one.
Long fish with a big head. See, he took it hard also. Completely swallowed the
Very nice fish.
the CreCraw. Very hard take. They want it.
They want it. They want it heavily.
They want it bad. They want it bad, the CreCraw. It's a big old warrior. Huh? We see how long he is? Not so long that I thought. 47.
Yeah. Crayfish eater.
Typical crayfish eater. Big head, big mouth. Beautiful fish. 1.78 kilo. It's a good back on this one, but no stomach. Put him back. Big old warrior. Thank you.
Well, this was a nice bite. Oh my god, this was a good bite.
Good one?
Yeah, good one.
Nice.
I was feeling so nice on the bottom and suddenly this bite, boom.
Hard bite.
It was a hard bite.
Nice. Good fight also, huh?
Yeah, it feels good.
It's a big perch.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Stays deep, you see.
Yeah. Good perch. That's a big one. It's a big one. Today's biggest.
You are strong. You're so exciting, strong.
Nice, completely.
Hey! Yes. Good.
I think that can be a 2 kilo perch.
It's hard working today, but this is a good
That's
one.
a 2 kilo
This
fish.
is a good one. Yeah. Yeah, this was a very good bite. Look at this one.
That can be a 2 kilo. It's fat.
You can see how now he's hooked. He really wanted the lure because he gave me a very hard bite. 49.5 to be. Yeah, 49.7. Almost 50. Fantastic fish, very nice bite, and it's 2 kilo and 80 gram. We just put the scale on, and it's 49.5 centimeter. Just not 50 centimeter, but who cares?
Fantastic end to the day. To a very hard day.
A hard day. It was a very hard day because of the brown water, and but we find a few little spots with clear water, and that's where it happened in the end of the day. Now we can go back.